I am no longer vegan. Literally became unrecognizable, and I didn't really know what was going on despite me doing the things that I thought were healthy for my body. I have changed my diet. Very immersive journey into herbalism and healing myself. The root of it is just poor gut health. I never realized how important the gut was. So those are the different types of things that can disrupt your gut microbiome. I definitely saw a change in my physical body. I feel like my life's purpose, my life's successes are in finding the solutions to my problem and sharing them with others. During my postpartum period, I thought that my fatigue, my poor skin, as well as the bloating was just because of normal postpartum symptoms. However, I was mistaken and it was actually my gut health. Over this video, I'm gonna catch up on my health journey. I know at one point on this channel, I posted a lot of recipes, videos, me transitioning to being vegan, alkaline vegan, older videos of me getting my gains and all of that. And now at this point in my life, I've had 3 pregnancies in the last 5 years. I have changed my diet. I eat meat now. And I have had a very immersive journey into herbalism and healing myself. And here I am again at a different phase of my life, healing myself yet again. And this time, the root of it is just poor gut health. So let's go ahead and get right into it. For like a 6-month period of time, I had very textured skin. I had like really small bumps. They weren't necessarily pimples, but just almost like a ongoing rash under my neckline, my forehead. I tried a different skincare routine. I tried facials. I tried all of the things, spending a lot of money on products, on services. And then I was also experiencing a lot of bloating. This was after my second pregnancy. So I thought, you know, maybe these are just regular postpartum symptoms. And I was extremely exhausted. And my mantra is always, just because it's common does not mean it's normal. So I started diving in to all of the things. I changed my diet around. I was eating clean. I was working out. I was doing all of the things and nothing was actually working. So I remember I typed into Google something like reasons for uneven texture, uneven skin. And lo and behold, something about the gut came up. Out of all of my years into health and wellness and hormone balancing, blood cleansing, all of the things, I never realized how important the gut was. And in my transition to being vegan, I realized that I kind of just ignored probiotics when it came to food. I did used to eat yogurt a lot, and when I transitioned, that was not something that I did. I also have never taken probiotics before either, and I wasn't eating cheese anymore. And those are like some of the higher sources of probiotics that you can find in food. While looking into other people's experiences and other people's journeys, I was like, you know what? This sounds exactly like what I'm going through, and people are having crazy transformations. How can I get my gut health in order? But I was also in a place where I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on trying to find the perfect thing. I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on trial and error. I just wanted somebody to tell me exactly what to do because I was tired. I was tired. I didn't want to buy any more products. I didn't want to buy products that I didn't end up working. I didn't want to pay any more providers because I went to 3 different dermatologists out of pocket and spent well over $1,000. So I was like, let me see if there's some type of gut test that can tell me about food as well as what I can do and give me an action plan. So I actually took action. The first thing I did is I got a blood panel from my doctor. I wanted to just know, after 2 pregnancies, after being vegan and actually having a really poor relationship with food postpartum, because I was trying to feed a toddler, trying to breastfeed and get my protein in, and then also not really wanting to cook because I didn't have time for the dishes. I didn't have time for all of that. And the meals weren't as thoughtful and intentional at this time in my life. And this was almost 2 years ago. I got a blood panel done from my doctor. And in this blood panel, I wanted my vitamins, my nutrients, I wanted my allergies, I wanted everything. I love looking at blood work. So in this blood work, which we did, I realized that 1, I had very low B12, which is so important to the diet. And the main source of B12 is red meat. I also had the MTHFR gene, which means that I'm just very sensitive to certain type of foods. And by doing that, I can't necessarily detox properly. I can't methylate certain things like folic acid and folate. Folic acid is a synthetic form of folate, and people who have the MTHFR cannot methylate or cannot turn folic acid into folate. So there are certain things that can help do that, and there's certain things that you should avoid to just make the process easier on your body. I also just had really low vitamin D living on the East Coast. I honestly thought vitamin D deficiency was like kind of fake, a fabricated thing, until I moved to the East Coast, and just my vitamins and nutrient level was just not in an optimal position. I also did a test, and this is not sponsored by the way, but they should sponsor me because I'm gonna be talking about them a whole lot throughout my gut health journey. But I got the Viome gut test. If you look up Viome, they will target you like crazy on Instagram and TikTok, so do what you will with it. But Viome is basically a gut test that you can take, and what I love about them is they send you your superfoods, your avoid foods, and then of course they sell something. So they sell supplements that are geared to your gut microbiome. So your gut microbiome is composed of billions of organisms, microbiome, that basically help or hurt your gut. So my gut was very much in balance, and in this Viome, what they basically sell is a package that tells you what foods to avoid, tell you what foods to eat, tell you the food that's kind of in the middle. They can sell you supplements, and you can either do it with their supplements or just take their food guide and kind of make changes there. I made changes to my diet based off on the gut test and also the blood work. So when I got my blood work done, I went to a holistic doctor who is a mix of Western medicine as well as natural functional medicine. And he sat me down and he was like, ma'am, you need to eat meat. And I was like, I've been vegan slash sometimes pescatarian for almost 4 years, 5 years, and that was just not something that I was wanting to hear. He was just basically like, look at your blood work, look at your results, and you're not getting the optimum level with the diet that you're currently eating. Look into grass-fed meats that you can buy local from ranches. You don't have to have meat in your diet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but based off your blood type, based off of your lab results, you should definitely consider eating meat because it would make a huge difference in your energy, your results, and just bloating, fatigue, everything. I sat on that for probably like 7 or 8 months. I did not eat meat. I kind of took what he said with a grain of salt and was just like, okay, I personally know that I have not been on my game when it comes to balanced diets, nutrition. I'm in the postpartum trenches. I have 2 under 2. Let me just try to be very intentional with my diet based off of my blood work and based off of my results, and then kind of see what I get from there. So when I got my results back, I also got an allergy panel, and I was allergic. My allergy panel was absurd. I ended up having like 30 allergies. There was 5 food allergies, and then the rest were like environmental, and then like cats and dogs, which is crazy because I developed a allergy to animals, which I was obviously aware of because I was around animals enough. I developed this allergy probably like 3 years ago, around the time that I was pregnant with my first child. So I already peeped that. And then I thought it was weird because I'm like, I wasn't allergic to this before. I wasn't allergic to animals before. And then in my test, some of the allergens that came up was peanuts, sesame, wheat, scallops, and then there was one more. I forgot. I'm gonna put it somewhere. So sesame is something that I ate pretty much at least 2 or 3 times. No, probably like 5 times a week because one, a lot of vegan food, a lot of hummus, they have the tahini in it, it has sesame. I eat a lot of Asian food, so I was making a lot of dressings with sesame oil. Wheat, I had wheat every single day, whether it was avocado toast, almond butter toast, pastas. I love bread. Honestly, I could do away with the desserts. Give me some bread and some butter and I'm happy. So I had wheat every single day, sesame every single day. Peanuts, love like a peanut vinaigrette situation. Scallops, I actually have always kind of hated scallops. I didn't really, it's funny because I feel like intuitively my body was like, no. Honestly, I feel like that is my only allergy. So going back into my only true allergy, because I've never really liked it and it's always had an odd taste to me. Doing more research in gut health, if your microbiome is out of balance, then you can develop food sensitivities or food allergies. So I personally am a believer that I'm not truly allergic to wheat, sesame, or peanuts. It's just something that I have developed because my gut microbiome is out of balance. In this package, they basically tell you what to avoid. They give you supplements if you choose to buy them. And then in 6 months, you're supposed to retest. And then I also knew that I had to take a prebiotic. So gut microbiome. How can your gut microbiome get out of balance? There's so many things that can disrupt your gut microbiome. A few things that I know off the top of my head are antibiotics. It could be a stomach bug, an illness, some type of food virus, or like food poisoning. Let me look. Just because I know the internet warriors will get me if I misspeak. So it says dietary choices like consuming ultra processed foods and artificial sweeteners, too much sugar, as well as lifestyle habits such as stress and poor sleep, medications, especially antibiotics, but also others like acid reducing drugs can also negatively impact your microbial balance. Environmental factors like alcohol consumption, lack of physical activity also play a role. So wasn't doing processed foods, wasn't doing artificial sweeteners, wasn't doing too much sugar, but my lifestyle drastically changed from pregnancy. I was not getting a lot of sleep. I was very much, now looking back, even though I said I was good, I was not good. Motherhood was a very hard transition for me just because I just thought it was gonna be easy. My mom did it, I just thought I could do it. That was a lie. That was very, very challenging for me. And I also knew I wanted to mother differently, which took a lot of energy, effort, learning, trial and error, and honestly doing things for the first time within my living family, which was a lot of stress and lack of physical activity. I wasn't taking any antibiotics. Environmental pollutants also are on here as well. So those are the different types of things that can disrupt your gut microbiome. And I very much resonated with that list. So I knew that because I had so many drastic changes in my lifestyle, my diet, my sleep, just my being, I definitely saw a change in my physical body. Your body is trying to tell you what's going on internally, so I took that and I ran with it. So at this point, my solution with trying to stay vegan at the time was to lock in with my diet, be intentional about what to eat and also what to avoid. Also incorporate probiotics in my day-to-day and just see where it goes from there. See if my skin clears up, see if I feel better, see if I have more energy, and see if the probiotics are gonna make a difference. I also was very consistent with my herbal teas at this time. I was consistent with supplements, and I was also consistent with taking different types of health shots. I did this for probably like 6 months, but honestly, I didn't take it too seriously. And then there was a point in time I went somewhere and I saw a picture of myself and I really looked at it and I was like, you are too grown and too aware to have your skin in the state that it is and know that there's an option to fix it. Like, you're too grown for this. Grow up. Your diet is not more important than your physical well-being. Your body is trying to tell you something and you need to lock in. So I eliminated wheat. I eliminated the sesame. I eliminated the peanut, and I did not waver from that. I know avocado toast was easy to eat in the morning, but I ate something else. I locked in for about 2 months and I saw an immediate difference with my skin within 2 weeks. The texture was cleared. 2 weeks. Crazy. So that was my confirmation to just kind of keep going, dive into this health journey, because I always believe that the things that have happened in my life, whether it was me learning about my hair, learning about business, I feel like my life's purpose, my life's successes are in finding the solutions to my problem and sharing them with others. I feel like sometimes, I mean, even for me, I got so overwhelmed with all the options, and I just felt like God was saying, figure this out, stay on this path and figure this out. And not only will you feel better mentally, physically, emotionally, but you'll also reap the benefits of physically looking better while you're feeling better. So I eliminated, the light is off again, but we shall move on. I eliminated everything for 2 months and I saw an immediate difference in my skin. I didn't really notice an immediate difference in my bloating until I went out with my friends, didn't really know at the time. I went out to eat and my stomach was hurting and cramping. I don't get menstrual cramps, and I definitely don't get cramps from eating food. So then like 2 weeks later, this is around the holidays, I go out again and I eat something and my stomach is cramping. And I remember at that point, I was like, what did I eat? Like a light bulb went off of, what did I eat? I had been locked in 2 months at home, cooking, everything, making sure that I was staying away from my dietary restrictions and dietary allergies. And when I went out, I was doing the same. I was eating like fish or vegan options, and I made sure that there was no sesame, no peanuts, but the wheat. I dove in the breadbasket, didn't think anything of it, locked in for 2 months, and it hurt me, okay? I came home and I was like, you did good with your entree, but you definitely had some bread. And at that point, I realized that I really got a sensitivity to wheat. I didn't think it would affect me because I had locked in for 2 months. And I also didn't think it would affect me because I never noticed that my body felt bad after eating wheat. But what I think happened is not eliminating everything out of my diet for a 2-month period of time and then eating it. I feel like my body or God was saying, girl, this is the thing that's bothering you. You need to eliminate it fully. And I'm also gonna make you aware that this is a thing that's hurting your body so that you don't do it again. I then realized that my body was probably in a current phase of my microbiome, the probiotics, everything working, but also being very much aware that my microbiome isn't where it is in the end goal. So I still am very sensitive to all of these things, and I still need to continue to lock in and stay on the path of eliminating all of these foods for a 6-month period, not 2 months, and see what happens at that point. So life ended up happening and we were traveling, and when you travel, you know, you can't really count on consistent food. And I didn't stay on task. I didn't stay on my path, on my journey, because it was hard. Eating vegan food in hotels and not including wheat was very challenging for me, from breakfast options to lunch options. So at that point, I took a look at my blood test and I made the decision, let me just welcome meat back to my body and see where I go from there. I welcomed meat back into my body, and the only meat that I was going to eat was grass-fed beef because there was a direct deficiency related to red meat. I only wanted to welcome the meat that was gonna directly impact the negative deficiencies that I had. I tried meat and I tried eggs. I was sick after eating eggs. Like, I didn't eat all day. Like, I lost my appetite, was sick after eating eggs. I had them scrambled, thought nothing of it, thought, okay, let me just try. When I ate that meat, my mouth was salivating, my body welcomed it, and I literally had an insane amount of energy probably like a week later. So I thought, okay, eggs I can do away with, meat, I'm gonna just do this and see how my body reacts. At this point, after failing, after traveling and not really being able to like eat gluten-free while traveling, while omitting the other allergens, I knew I could find meat in certain places, but I necessarily couldn't be vegan. Like, pasta is wheat, even though there's vegan options. Avocado toast has the wheat. I was just in a place where I couldn't necessarily meet both of the requirements. So I ended up eating grass-fed meat while omitting all of the allergens. And after like 2 months, my energy increased substantially. My skin health was at a constant incline. It's still not in the most optimal position. However, it's made, I don't have the texture and like the rash looking skin anymore. And I was not bloated. I also noticed after I was leaving those dinners that I was extremely bloated. Currently, I say this all to say, I'm still on a health journey. This health journey looks very, very different. I also expressed in a video I posted like 5 months ago that my hair the texture has changed tremendously. So I just feel like I'm back at square one, same body, different needs. Postpartum, I definitely have, my lifestyle obviously has changed with 3 kids. The attention to my food and diet and exercise has changed because of my lifestyle as well. But I'm very, very blessed. I'm very, very determined. And this is just the beginning of my health journey. So to answer a lot of the questions that I've been getting asked in regards to my diet, I am no longer vegan. The current meats that I eat now are grass-fed beef. I get it directly from a ranch. I don't necessarily have meat every single day. And the days that I do have it, it's not like I have meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes I'll go 3 days in a row eating meat and then I won't have meat for 2 weeks. I kind of just intuitively eat in alignment with what my body needs, in a rhythm with what my body needs, and also just energy. And then also too, sometimes like I need a carne asada taco, okay? Because being from LA, them tacos. Anyways, so currently I'm eating red meat, grass-fed beef directly from a ranch. And then I also have welcomed ground turkey into my diet. I cannot do like breast yet. In this transition back to eating meat, it's definitely been like a mental and like a texture thing for me. So I'm only really interested in eating beef and ground turkey at this point in time. But I'm just letting you guys know that I'm very much on a new health journey. I'm very much in a place where I need to get back to myself for the sake of myself, for the sake of my kids, for the sake of my daughter, looking at me as a mother and not being self-sacrificial when I have the resources, I have the support, I have the community to really become the best version of me. So in these videos, I am going to share my journey in improving my gut health, getting back to myself, different meals that I'm eating, and just learning about the different layers and vessels that I have become since being an individual and then also being a mom. So if you guys have any questions about anything that I said in this video, it really helps me when you guys make suggestions. I will be posting videos on my gut health journey and including you guys in on them, because it's really debilitating what the gut can do to your energy, your skin, your mental, your physical, your emotional. And for anybody who is on the other side and they're not really knowing what's wrong with them or the root cause of why they're feeling away, I strongly encourage you to get some type of blood work, get some type of gut test, and take the power back and become the best version of yourself, because we all deserve that. We have the options, we have the technology, and then we also have the herbal wisdom to heal ourselves. I 100% believe that. Once again, here on this channel, I believe just because it's common does not mean it's normal, and I'm really interested to see where this journey leads me and leads us as a community. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next upload.